Welcome to What a Creep, the show with Margot Donohue and Sonia Mansfield, talking about creeps from the past to the present.
This is your quick guide to the biggest creeps, jerks, assholes, and losers, the best of the worst.
From two nice ladies who want the world to be a little less creepy.
Welcome back to What a Creep. This is Margot Donohue, and my cohort in creepitude, as always, is the amazing Sonia Mansfield. Hey, Sonia.
Hello, my friend.
Don't work that voice too much, y'all. Sonia
hi.
had the six for a few days.
Yeah.
She was coughing and wheezing and coughing.
Yeah. I apologize in advance. My voice is not 100%, but it's good enough. And I also know that for some of y'all, this is your kink. So, I want to give the people what they want.
You could follow us on all social media at What a Creep Podcast, except on Twitter. We're on Creep Pod on Twitter because somebody had What a Creep for 10 years and never used it.
Creep.
We are interactive in all those social media places, including Threads and Twitter and Instagram and all that good stuff. Please follow us in all those places, but we're the most interactive in our Facebook group. So you have to type in What a Creep Podcast group. Also, you have to ask to join. Just promise not to be an asshole. We should also remind y'all, in case you don't know, we use salty language in this program. So if you're traveling with a bus full of children, grow up, kids.
Fuck yeah, it's time to grow up, kids.
What else could I say? Sonia, what do you want to tell them about the website?
You can go there. No, I'm kidding.
Awesome.
No, there's links to all of our past episodes, and in each of those posts are show notes because we source every single thing we do. We want to give credit to the people that did the dirty work. If you're looking for a deeper dive on any of our creeps, that's a great place to start. So do that. There's also a link to our Substack. There is a link to our merch shop where you can get t-shirts and tote bags and face masks and all kinds of awesome things. And there's more. You can go to our Patreon. You want to tell them about that, Margot?
Patreon. We have our first 8 seasons up on that board.
8.
We put out 8, y'all. We put out 2 bonus episodes a month. You will get your second one for this month on the 29th. It's a leap year. So we decided, let's just go crazy and do it on the leap day. That'll drop then. And we want to thank Dina for joining our Patreon page. Thank you. It just helps us with the cost for things. And, it always makes us feel good to see y'all there. We also put some free content there, too. Yes. So you can just go and check it out.
Yeah.
We don't have any new iTunes reviews, so there's. So if y'all are on iTunes listening to us, if you want to leave us a 5-star review, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it would be super helpful.
Spotify or Good Pods or I guess Google Play doesn't exist anymore, right? It went to YouTube or something. Yeah. So any of those places, if you could leave us a review, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it helps us find our people.
Indeed. Sonia, do you want to tell them who we're talking about today?
Yeah. This guy's been on the list for a while. His name is Peter Thiel. Do you know this guy?
No, I do not.
All right. Well, let me give you the sources first. The Atlantic, The Guardian, Huffington Post, Mother Jones, The New York Times, Vanity Fair, Vox, Washington Post, and of course, always Wikipedia. Again, if you want to do a deeper dive, great place to start. Peter Thiel. Yes.
Sorry, I forgot to mention, if this is your first time listening, we always end the show with somebody who's not a creep. So just keep that in mind. It gets better at the end.
That's right.
To bum you out. Always remember that with our shows.
Yes. Peter Thiel is a billionaire and venture capitalist. He's the co-founder of PayPal and a spy tech firm called Palantir. They specialize in big data analytics. Boring. No, it's not boring. And they get a lot of their revenue from governor contracts, which is interesting because he fancies himself a libertarian. He also runs the venture capital firm Founders Fund, which was one of the first outside investors of Facebook. He is also invested in things like, SpaceX with our
Okay.
with our What a Creep veteran, Elon Musk. He's invested in things like LinkedIn and Lyft. Thanks for all
Shit
of that,
we all
Pete.
use.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. As of June 2023, Thiel has an estimated net worth of almost $10 billion. He
That's
is
a
also
B?
with a B, y'all.
Holy shit.
He's a political activist, a self-described libertarian who donates to mostly right-wing politicians who want to take away basic rights for the LGBTQIA plus community, even though he is a gay man and a member of that community.
Wait, that's real? That's true?
It is true.
Holy shit. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Isn't he married? Oh, he's married to his husband then.
Yes.
Holy shit. I didn't know this. I did not know this.
Yes, he is a gay man, and he doesn't care about that. Like, this shit won't impact him because he's rich. So that makes him a creep. Let's start at the beginning. Peter Andreas Thiel was born October 11th, 1967. My condolences to my fellow Libras. He was born in Frankfurt, West Germany. His parents were Klaus and Suzanne. They moved from West Germany to the United States when he was 1 year old. He lived in Cleveland for a while before settling.
Hello, Cleveland.
Hello,
That's
Cleveland.
my spinal tap.
Cleveland
That's my
rocks.
spinal tap. No, it's my spinal tap reference.
Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. He settled in Foster City, California.
You know where that is.
Right here in the Bay Area, y'all. And he was always he's a very smart kid. He was a mathlete, y'all. He was a mathlete. He competed in math competitions. He was a childhood chess competition champion. He was one of the strongest junior players in the United States. He was also really into Dungeons and Dragons. Shout out to my fellow D&D nerds out there.
Of course.
Yes.
It all tracks.
Yes. Very into science fiction.
Ren
books.
Fair?
I did not see Ren Fair on here, but he is very into science fiction, specifically, and also things like Lord of the Rings, which he's read a million times. A lot of his companies are named after things from Lord of the Rings. He went to Stanford as an undergraduate. He also went to their law school. Here's where we start getting creepy. While he was there at Stanford, he launched a conservative publication called the Stanford Review. And it was all about political correctness. You know, it's the same shit that Bill Maher's done. I hate political correctness. It means I have to use words that I'm not used to using. That Stanford Review was actually funded by someone named Irving Kristol, who is the godfather of neoconservatism. So just keep that in mind. He co-wrote a book called The Diversity Myth with another tech investor named David Sachs. And it's a whole thing about the quote-unquote craziness and silliness and stupidity and wickedness of the left. Wicked of the left. You know, that affirmative action in the United States is not helping anybody. It's actually hurting people. It's leading to more segregation, et cetera, et cetera. So again, according to Thiel, I'm just going to call him Pete, our buddy Pete, diversity is bad. Got it. After graduating from law school, he clerked for some judges, worked at a law firm, and then he was like, I'm going to try something else. And that's because, that's what rich people can just do. He moved back to the Bay Area and he raised $1 million from his friends and family. Like you do. Yeah.
It's just lying around.
Dude, I can't even collect money to buy my parents a gift card for their anniversary. But this dude can get $1 million. Sure. He set up a capital management firm and he started investing in companies. That's when he teamed up with a computer scientist named Max, I think it's Levchin, and they co-founded PayPal. Maybe you've heard of it.
Heard of it.
Yeah, it was his original intention was this was I don't know why, he said it was a libertarian alternative to government currency. I don't know how that's remotely libertarian, but sure, you do you, boo. Eventually, PayPal turned into fucking everything, man. Everyone uses shit like
it.
Yeah, everyone uses the equivalent of PayPal, Venmo, your Cash Apps, all that stuff. And it was
Patreon uses it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was bought. eBay bought PayPal in 2002, and they bought it for $1.5 billion. Wow. That's a lot of money, y'all. I assume that they paid that money through PayPal. He used that PayPal money to then invest in Facebook, which obviously increased his wealth greatly. And he has continued to grow in big tech over the past 20 years. So that's how he got there. Let's talk about all of his creepy shit. In 2009, he published an essay stating that giving women the right to vote was bad for democracy.
That's some old school shit.
That's some old school shit.
Holy shit.
By the way, he later clarified, but not really, by saying he didn't want to disenfranchise women. He said it would be absurd to suggest that women's votes should be taken away or that this would solve the political problems that vex us. While I don't think any class of people should be disenfranchised, I have little hope that voting will make things better.
Democracy doesn't work.
Yes. So here we go, everybody. Women are bad. Voting is bad. City is bad. Got it. Reminder, our good buddy Pete here is a massive financial investor and thought leader in social media and all things internet. So if you're wondering, internet is so misogynist and racist, you can start looking right here. He's probably most famous, actually, for backing Hulk Hogan's lawsuit against Gawker.
Oh, yes.
So, in case you don't know, wrestler Hulk Hogan was filmed having sex with his best friend's wife, and then the best friend, classy, and then released that video, and Gawker published it. And I don't know why people would want to see that, but apparently they did, and it was a thing. Hulk Hogan filed a invasion of privacy lawsuit against Gawker, and that lawsuit was funded by Peter Thiel. Why did Peter Thiel fund Hulk Hogan's lawsuit? Because a million years before that, Gawker wrote an article called, this is the headline, Peter Thiel is totally gay, people. And basically publicly outed him.
They made some questionable choices, I would say now, looking back on Gawker, if you remember. Yeah.
Yes. Look, we can all have weird mixed feelings about Gawker. That's legit. It's we can all sit with our uncomfortable feelings about Gawker. By the way, our buddy Pete here, he wasn't closeted. Like, his family and friends knew he was gay. It wasn't like a secret, but for them they published it on a website for everyone to read. And that, while the article was legal, it's tasteless for sure. It's insensitive, not illegal, but it really, really pissed him off. And he held on to that always. And he later told the New York Times that this was less about revenge and more about specific deterrence. He didn't want organizations, and I hate to refer to Gawker as a news organization because but it was a gossip rag, really. But
no, they also I'm sorry to interrupt you. They also published. I remember they published Paris Hilton's sex tape. Yes. They did one for Jack White's wife that they claimed was Jack, and it turns out it wasn't. And then they had and it's like, why are you? I don't need this. What are we doing? So I get, like you said, uncomfortable feelings about Gawker.
Yes, they pioneered stalking celebrities on the internet,
right?
Publishing their location, sharing videos that were not safe for work, bullying people. They paved the way for your Perez Hiltons and your superficials and all those things. So you could argue that they weren't doing what's the word I'm looking for? They weren't doing a public service. That's the word.
No,
You know,
No.
it was pretty gross. It's pretty gross. So I understand, but also I'm uncomfortable with like a billionaire funding a lawsuit to put an organization out of business for revenge. Like, and
Right.
they awarded Hulk Hogan $140 million in damages, and this put Gawker out of business. And it kind of gives billionaires, celebrities, etc., a blueprint for how to silence media outlets they don't like. And that makes me uncomfortable. I also want to point out that I think it's interesting that our good buddy Pete has strong feelings about privacy because his company, the one I mentioned up top, Palantir, let me scroll back down here. Sorry, I lost my place, everybody. They actually invade people's privacy all the time. It's kind of what they do. They perform it's a software that performs deep searches on like the criminal records, financial, medical, communication, secret agency records on people. It's their number one client is like the National Security Agency, the Department of Defense, the U.S. Immigration of Custom Enforcement, and ICE. Like,
Jesus.
ICE uses them to like find parents of children who are residing here illegally and ship them away. But do go on about privacy, Pete. Do go on. Like, again, he makes his money. So to be clear, what have we said now? Diversity's bad, women are bad, voting is bad, and also, but privacy is important, but not yours. Got it. In 2016, our buddy Pete here threw his money behind Donald Trump. He did it just weeks after the Access Hollywood tape came out. So it wasn't like he did it beforehand. He did it after the infamous pussy grabbing tape. Super fucking gross. Trump gets elected. And wouldn't you know it, Thiel's companies land a whole bunch of government contracts. What? Surprise! Surprise.
You get a contract. You get a contract. You get a contract.
Yeah, a whole bunch of them got contracts. And he invested in Jared Kushner's brother's like health insurance like company. Like, it's fucking gross. It's so fucking nasty. A lot of his revenue for his companies come from government clients. Again, super weird for a dude who says he's libertarian.
They're called libertarians.
They are all about...
That's a Dave Anthony joke. It's not that funny. Nor is he, but...
Libertarians are supposedly all about small government unless it involves his business and his money. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Pete has also been a keynote speaker at the National Conservative Conference, which features such geniuses as Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, little baby Marco.
He's not looking so good lately.
Nope. In 2022, he was one of the largest donors to Republican candidates, including, it was, by the way, almost $21 million that he threw into like 16 different senator races, including future What a Creep episode, J.D. Vance. Fuck J.D. Vance. So gross. By the way, he didn't get his money's worth. Like, a lot of those people did not win their races. So, surprise, last year, he started telling people that he's not really planning to fund any more elections. He says he's frustrated about the right's attacks on abortion and transgender. Sorry, everyone, my voice is...
No, but he's fighting the attacks on those people?
Yeah, he's frustrated that the right is going in on this like culture war stuff instead of focusing on what he believes are like the real priorities, which for him is China, by the way. China is the like biggest threat to the whole world, according to him. So he has said he's not investing in that. But I don't want you to think like, oh, his heart grew 3 sizes on Christmas Day or something. That's not what happened. Like, it's just that anti-abortion and transgender rights are losing issues with voters. And he wants the GOP to stay in power so that he can get juicy tax cuts and keep his government contracts. That's all he cares about. It's not like, oh, I super care about women's rights, because he's made it clear he doesn't give a shit about women. And he doesn't care about transgender rights because he throws his money behind people like J.D. Vance. Like, it's about that it's a losing investment right this second. That's all. That's all it is. He also like bankrolls a science journal called Inference, and it's on the regular publishing shit about like how climate change isn't real and maybe evolution isn't real and, just pretty cool, normal stuff. He's such a fucking prick. He did an interview with The Atlantic, and he says, like, I'm not giving money to politicians, and we're all supposed to be like, yay, what a good guy. He's fucking dope. And he's like, but I might change my mind.
Yeah.
So, again, he's all about financially backing candidates with garbage agendas as long as it saves him some money. And right now, it's not saving him money. So he might change his mind any second now. He has been asked, like, hey, you have billions of dollars. Maybe you would like to, like, help out with, like, put some of your great minds to work for, like, thinking about poverty or inequality. And he's like, nah, there's enough people working on that. Instead, he's spending millions on a pro-drugs version of the Olympics.
Wait, say that again. I didn't hear you. Don't get a coughing fit.
No, this guy is like, he's like, he has billions of dollars. He could be like helping, like thinking, and he has all these think tanks. He could be working on poverty and inequality. And instead he's like, hey, how about a roided up Olympics? So he's working on something called the Enhanced Games.
Oh, okay. So you can, God, all these people with back knee and hair coming out of their eyeballs are going to just be.
Look, I get it. I'm 100% going to watch.
I would watch the shit out of that, to be honest with you. It'd be like the Hulk just throwing shit in the air and it goes over the stadium. And it
reminds me of the old SNL sketch where the guy like tries to lift the weights and he ends up ripping off his own arm. Like, I'm going to watch it. And I'm not saying this makes him a creep for doing it. Like, because again, I'm going to watch it. But
yeah,
he could be doing something better.
Right.
He could be. I'm going to watch his Roid Olympics. It's fine. And if he wants to focus on that,
at least.
And if he wants to do that instead of politics, I'm all for it. Like, do it. Throw all your money into that. Go for it, dude. But he's not. He's not doing that. Again, he's worth like $9 billion. He lives with his husband. He has 2 children. They live in Bel Air. Sorry. It's a 9-bedroom house. It has a 90-foot infinity pool. The house is literally made of glass. He lives in a glass palace.
Wow.
Where I assume he doesn't throw any stones, even though he's the biggest fucking hypocrite. That is our creep, Peter Thiel.
Wow, Sonia. You blew my mind with a couple of those, especially the Roided Olympics. I'm sorry, but that's like...
Watch it!
I will watch that.
Yeah,
well,
it's so funny.
Job.
Yeah, I want to say, like, he thinks he's doing the pro-drugs Olympics in the name of science and innovation.
Science!
Like, it's for science! Sure it is.
He's got to spend his money on something. Well, I put out the call, y'all, in our Facebook group, like, who's our not creep this week? Because I like to check in with people. And is it Cillian Murphy or Cillian Murphy?
I think it's Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy. Blada is always asking for him. We will talk about him one day. And the Skarsgård boys. Danny Kaye. We've already covered Danny Kaye. Tom Hiddleston. Robin Roberts. We did talk about Michael Sheen, and then it turns out he is kind of creepy. So
He's got a little creep to him.
He's got a little scuzziness around him, let's just say. Australian Samuel Johnson. There's some really great people. Dr. Mary Walker. We've got some great ideas, so thank you. But I decided to stick with a billionaire who did something amazing with her money.
This.
Yes. Dr. Ruth Gottesman. She's 93 years old. Her husband was hung out with the Warren Buffetts of the world. She donated $1 billion to the Albert Einstein Medical School in the Bronx. It's providing free medical school to all students moving forward, starting in August, and it's actually going to go back and refund some kids.
Wow.
So this is one of the largest charitable donations in the United States history. Her husband, Sandy, like I said, he was a protege of Warren Buffett, and they wanted to equalize the chance. In order to go to medical school, on top of being brilliant and having, all those things that you have to have, it costs about $200,000 to go to medical school.
Yeah.
Which expensive. Is fucking expensive. Most people can't afford that, and that's one of the reasons why. And also there's a problem that, and not to Peter Thiel, of course, but women and people of color and all kinds of people entering into the medical system to treat patients of all kinds, that kind of thing. So she decided that I'm 93. I'm going to do something nice for the world.
That's amazing.
And so she's had a long career. She's been working since 1968. She's been, it's just this incredible thing. She announced it and to a group of students in this amphitheater, and they just lost their goddamn minds.
I bet.
Because usually it's to go to Einstein Medical School, it's $60K a year.
Yeah.
And so she wanted to do something to kind of even things out. Is it going to make things competitive there? You bet. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to apply to that school. I was watching a bunch of news segments, and of course people did the cheesy jokes oh, what if you graduated last year? And blah, blah, blah. It's look, someone is doing something fucking amazing.
Yes.
For generations of people.
Also, we can't let that kind of stuff stop us from doing these things. Like the whole Joe Biden canceling student debt. And it's well, what about me? I already paid off my student loan. Good for you.
Yeah.
We can't we can't not make progress because of things that happened in the past, that it's somehow unfair. No. Get over it.
Get over it. So there's going to be just generations of doctors and nurses and people in the community and it's just amazing. And so I thought that was the perfect person.
That is the perfect person. This
right?
is what I'm talking about. Again, he can donate his money however he wants.
Right.
But he could be doing something great. And he's not.
We haven't seen that roided out Olympics yet, though. So
might be pretty great.
That might be pretty fucking amazing.
Maybe next year I will do a whole not a creep about him just because of the roided out Olympics.
Well, that's our episode for you today. And if you like the sound of our voices, Sonia's doesn't always sound like this. But it's pretty good, I thought.
Oh, thank you.
We co-host a show called Dorking Out, where we dork out about movies. Now, we have something to say, an announcement, Sonia, about the episode.
Yes. Up. So we were going to do Serial Mom, but I got sick. We are going to do Serial Mom. We will do it, not this next episode, but the episode after that. We will do it because I want to do it. We said we were going to do it. But our next episode is actually going to be with our good friend Adam Risky, and we're going to talk about Jerry Maguire. So I can't wait to talk about this one because I haven't seen it in 20 years, and the movie hasn't changed, but I've changed a lot. So
I had thoughts when I saw it, and I wonder now. Like, because Bonnie Hunt's in this movie, and Adam keeps talking about he wishes he married her, but I'm like, I don't even remember her being in this movie. I remember the Bruce Springsteen song, Secret Garden, where they had played clips of the movie. So that's going to be our next episode.
Yes.
Please send us your suggestions for creeps and your non-creeps at all those places I mentioned at the top of the show. I think I didn't remember to say we have an old-timey email. whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. Just spell it all out. That's a great place to send us your suggestions. But if you would like some stickers, we've been sending out stickers wherever you are on the planet of Earth.
She'll do it.
I'll do it. I will get them to you. So that's another place to reach us. This was super fun. Sonia, where can they find you?
You can find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, the Threads, the Blue Sky, all the places. I also recently discovered that y'all had been sending me some Facebook messages. But I didn't know that they were in the other folder. I'm really sorry, y'all, because I don't really go to Facebook other than to look at our group. So I apologize. Y'all have been sending me things. I want to address you. I've seen you years too late. I am so sorry.
Is this under the Sonia Show?
Some of them are under Sonia Show. Some of them are to me personally. And they're in that requested or I'm so sorry, everybody. Again, I'm not as active on Facebook other than.
Well, it can be tricky because I do a lot of communicating. I'm doing a bunch of interviews for a book I'm working on. And a lot of people are like, oh, my friend's on Facebook. Just send them a message. And it's like, well, they have to click the button thing and then they have to see the requests.
Yes.
And a lot of my people are in their 60s and 70s. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't whatever. So,
yeah. But you can.
It's understood.
Yes. You can find me on all the other channel. I will see you there. So if you want to follow me there or you want to send me a note, those are the places to do it. Maybe just not Facebook.
whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. We both get those emails right on our phones. We see them instantly.
Yes, and we got a lovely email from someone, was it last week or the week before?
Yes.
That just fucking made my heart grow 3 sizes. It was like Christmas morning for me. It was so lovely. Super appreciated it. Yeah, you can always email us there. Where can people find you, Margot?
You can find me at Brooklyn Fitchick. That is my site. That is also where you can find me for Threads and Instagram. I'm at Brooklyn Margot for Twitter and Brooklyn Margot for my TikTok. Please follow me in those places. Okay, so in the meantime, everybody, take your vitamin C, drink lots of liquids. Don't get what Sonia had.
Yeah.
Ugh. And don't be a creep.
Thank you for listening to us talk about creeps. You can follow us at What a Creep Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
But don't follow us too closely.
You can email us your creepy stories at whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com.
But please keep your dick pics to yourself.